let's chat. So 2024 housing market forecast predictions. I can't put it off any longer. We're here, 2024. Let's talk about what the economists are saying the market is going to do. There are numerous sources that we talk about when we talk about our sources. I'll give you the 5 sources that I use. The first one is Fannie Mae. The second one is Realtor.com, the National Association of Realtors, and Goldman Sachs. I guess that's 4. Can't count. I use 4 sources. Those are the 4 sources that I really look at as to where predictions are going to come from. Oh, I guess my 5th one would be the time that I get to spend down with Gary Keller and Keller Williams and the economists that Keller Williams uses to give me my information. So that's where my knowledge comes from. We're going to talk about a couple of different areas today. Home prices, mortgage rates, and sales predictions. So let's start with home price forecasts. Prices are not going to drop. Prices are not falling out of the sky. We would expect all of these resources think that the market is going to stay right about where it is. Fannie Mae has the most optimistic, and they believe prices could rise 2.4%. And Realtor.com has the most pessimistic viewpoint, saying that prices will drop 1.7%. So you're not talking about huge amounts of money. More than anything, I think this also goes to play with where your appreciation looks. And so those are the kinds of things that I think at. When I see prices that are sitting here, so I'm going to say somewhere between a 0.5% drop and a 0.5% increase, Goldman Sachs is usually my more reliable source, and they're predicting a 0.6% increase in prices. And so I'm going to call it flat. I'm going to tell you that prices are just hanging out. So if you're good with hanging out prices, this is your year to purchase. Home sales predictions, it's more a measure of economy than anything else. We're expecting them to stay right in the 4 million homes sold this year. In 2024, that goes from 4.8% by Fannie Mae, super optimistic, down to 3.8 with Goldman Sachs, 3.8 million homes sold. So significantly less than it was during, say, the pandemic, but a healthy amount of homes will be sold. So, yeah. And the third one that I look at is the mortgage rate predictions, our favorite ones. It is predicted that interest rates are going to stop in the mid-ish 6s. In 2024, that we should be right around 6.3, 6.4, 6.5 come the end of the year. So a significant decrease from where we have been and where we are, but keeping them below the 7%, and none of the predictions put them below 6%. So I think we have time to wait before we will see those. See them get back below the 6. So what does all of that mean? How do you deal with that? What do you do with that information? What we know is that historically, and we have history for years, 40, 50 years of housing market, we know that there is still wealth to be built in real estate. So buying real estate, while you might be buying at a higher interest rate, you can refinance when it goes down. Although we're predicting home prices to stay flat this year, that in a year from now, when they do rise, I would have rather had the higher interest rate and the lower price and refinance to that interest rate versus the opposite. So as a 20-year, I can't believe it's been 20 years, but as 20-year veteran of the real estate market, I think we're in for a solid year. I think that houses are selling. I think that buyers are buying. I think that you're seeing, we talk about there being less inventory. Less inventory than what is what I always come back to. Less inventory than we would like. That's the answer. Less inventory, not than a year ago. We're seeing more inventory than we had a year ago. So there's a lot of words thrown around. Make sure you're asking questions and questioning all of it before you make your decision, really one way or the other, of if 2024 is going to be your year for purchasing. If I can be of any help, definitely reach out. But that's what the market says it's doing.